You're watching TVC Breakfast. It's not time to link with Eshomomo Imodu and Tijisu Adeoye in our Abuja studios for the conversation today. Good to see you guys. Good morning, Eshomomo and Tijisu.
Yeah, good morning, Ibrahim. Good morning, Etoma.
Good morning, Etoma. So how is Abuja this morning?
Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, thank God it's Friday. I can see Tijisu she's looking somewhat, like you're ready for the weekend. It looks like you have lineup of parties to attend.
I
am.
I've looked forward to today.
That's right.
At least it's a good time to just take some rest and reflect ahead of the coming week.
Most definitely. Take it away, guys.
Yeah. All right. And good morning and thank you for joining us on this segment of the program from Abuja. The Pan Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, is calling on President Bola Tinubu to take urgent and decisive action to resolve the escalating political crisis in Rivers State. The group specifically urges the president to rein in both the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and the Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, warning that the prolonged dispute between the two political figures poses grave threats to national stability, especially oil exploration. The Rivers State crisis, which has lingered for months, stems from an intense political battle between Governor Fubara and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, who played a major role in installing Fubara as his successor in the 2023 elections. However, their relationship has since soured, leading to an open battle for political control in the states.
Although Governor Fubara has publicly declared his willingness to abide by the recent Supreme Court ruling on the crisis, PANDEF notes that tensions remain at a boiling point with no concrete resolution in sight. The prolonged dispute has led to deep division among political actors in Rivers State, instability in governance, and concerns over possible violence among supporters of both factions. In an effort to de-escalate the crisis, PANDEF revealed that it has established a high-level peace and reconciliation committee chaired by former Akwa Ibom Governor Obong Victor Atta. While the committee has made some progress, PANDEF lamented that certain key actors remain uncooperative, making it difficult to broker a lasting peace agreement. And for more on the ongoing crisis in Rivers State and seeking the path to peace, let's bring in two gentlemen on the show. Joining us, we are expecting with us in the studio an activist, Pan-Africanist, and a lawyer, Chatham Thierry Nwala, but unfortunately he's unable to make it to the studio, but he joins us via Zoom. Thank you for joining us on the program, Mr. Chatham.
Thank you for having me. I hope to join you soon.
All right. And we also have joining us via Zoom the former chairman of Ikwere Local Government Area of Rivers State, Samuel Wanosike. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, it's good to have you both gentlemen. Well, I'll begin with you, Mr. Wanosike. As a supporter of the former governor, Nyesom Wike, you disagree that he is responsible for the political problems in Rivers State. How would you respond to those who insist that Mr. Wike is overbearing and his attempt to control the state's affairs is what led to his conflict with the governor?
Well, it's unfortunate when people hold such a view because let's just face the facts. This crisis is between the executive and the legislative arm, the both of which Nyesom Wike does not belong to any. And when people who are given opportunity to govern their people swore an oath to uphold the Constitution and obey the rule of law, so that the dividends of democracy will trickle down to their people, decides to create crisis among themselves, you can't link it or you can't hold it on a man who is not in either of both parties. Nyesom Wike is very busy in Abuja. If you know the amount of work and the amount of time needed for him to give the dividends of democracy he's churning out in Abuja. You will know he doesn't have that time. But the truth be told, Nyesom Wike is a Rivers man. And as a Rivers man, every Rivers man, including me speaking here, will have an interest in our state. And that's why I'm on this show this morning. So for us, the crisis is between the executive and the legislative arm of government. And that we expect that the executive arm of government should realize that we run a constitutional democracy. And each arm of government should be allowed to operate independently, even if they can cooperate to make sure they achieve results. So you can't come and link it to somebody who has no role to play in the crisis.
Okay, Mr. Wanosike, just before I get to you, Barrister Wanosike, at the time this crisis started, there were statements made by the former governor and minister of the FCT, and even a few days ago when he had a live broadcast, he also made certain statement. A statement like, if the governor is impeached, heaven will not fall. He also made a statement about the chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, that he has never seen a man that corrupt, using his word. Now, you're saying that he has no role in the crisis in Rivers State. Probably a lot of people will not agree with you on this.
First of all, I didn't hear what you were saying.
Okay, I'll go.
I don't know if you can take it.
Okay,
because your network went off.
Okay, I'll go right again. I said just few days ago when the former governor of Rivers State and minister of the FCT made a live broadcast, he alluded to the fact that if the governor is impeached, heavens will not fall. That was after the governor alleged that he was locked out from the assembly for presenting the 2025 budget. And also there was a statement where he said, he made a comment about the chairman of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, that he is not capable of heading that body. Would you say such a man with such statements has no role in the crisis in Rivers State?
Like I said, Nyesom Wike is an interested Rivers man. Like me, I'm an interested Rivers man too. That's why you invited me to this show. I don't belong to the executive, I don't belong to the legislative. And let me even ask a question. I remember before now, you journalists used to say, the assembly, the legislative arm all over Nigeria are all rubber stamp assemblies. They're just push around whatever the governors talk out is what they pass, and all manner of statements being made. But today we have a legislative arm that is willing to work. I think we should commend them for standing to say, no, we will not allow our governor run this democratic process without the rule of law and without obeying the Constitution of Nigeria. When a man does not obey court orders, like the Supreme Court has said, like you read in the certified true copy from the judgment of the Supreme Court, he said clearly that no government has existed in Rivers State since 2023 October by the actions of the governor. And the governor in his own worked and destroyed the hallowed chamber of the assembly and decided to say, assembly members have lost their seat on his own without allowing the judicial process take its course, or without allowing presiding officers of the legislative as enshrined in Section 109 do what they are told to do by the Constitution. So going back to your question, I will say clearly that Nyesom Wike is just a Rivers man who is interested in peace and making sure the dividends of democracy get to Rivers people. But we will achieve that via a government carrying on its activity along with the Constitution of Nigeria in agreement with the Constitution of the Federal Republic.
Chatham, I would like to ask you, it seems like the situation in Rivers State is still unfolding, with the House of Assembly members accusing Governor Fubara of playing to the crowd rather than addressing the issues at hand. The question remains, who is responsible for ensuring strict compliance with the law? Chatham, can you hear me?
Okay, I think we're having challenges with his network. Okay, Mr. Wanosike, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, Chatham, okay, you have the air.
Yes, please, can you repeat your question?
Yes, I said it seems like the situation in Rivers State is still unfolding, with the House of Assembly accusing Governor Fubara of playing to the crowd rather than addressing the issue at hand. Who should be held responsible for ensuring strict compliance with the law?
Before I go into that, let me get to clear a few issues as raised by Dr. Samuel Wike. It is very important that we tell ourselves the truth, because as people who have the interests of Rivers State at heart, and as citizens of Rivers or indigenous of Rivers State, it is important that we look at ourselves and tell ourselves the truth to resolving the crisis within Rivers State. For Dr. Samuel Wike to come out and say that the Minister of the FCT has no interest per se or is not involved in the crisis, I think that is not correct. That is pure fallacy. It's not correct, because we all know that the minister had on several occasions bragged how he bought forms for all the assembly members. The minister on several occasions have also bragged how he bought forms for everybody who has an elected office in Rivers State today. So you cannot say that he is not a part and parcel of whatever is happening. Whatever is happening in Rivers State is a pure disagreement between the minister and the governor. And this has also spread to other strata and areas of the state. And like this issue of course, we saw the minister yesterday casting aspersion on the person of the research chairman, being Honorable Justice Adolphus Enebeli, and calling him all sorts of names and all that, which is
Okay, Chatham, are you there? I think we're having a challenge. Mr. Anosike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Just as at this moment,
very sad and unfortunate, because
Okay. Chatham, you can go on with your thoughts.
Chatham, are you there?
I can hear you.
Yes, you can continue with your thoughts.
Okay, Chatham, we'll get back to you. Mr. Onosike, just at this moment, there are reports that the governor has sent another letter to the members of the House of Assembly requesting to present the 2025 budget the coming week, I think Wednesday 19th, or a day that may be convenient to them. That is following the failure to present the budget the last time. What's your thoughts on this new development? What will be the reaction and response of the House of Assembly to this new letter that he personally signed?
First of all, I'm glad that the governor has decided to do the right thing. Going to the front of the assembly gate with cameramen day before yesterday was a kind of childish as far as I'm concerned for a chief executive like him, and holding the revered office of the governor of the state. A man that was bid to attend a commissioning ceremony in a local government where he commissioned Kana local government, where he commissioned a hospital for the people of Kana local government, would on his way to that program branch and create that comic skit so that we can whip up sentiments. As far as we are concerned, we've passed that stage. Now that the governor has decided to do the thing, he understands that it's not clear to him that there are three arms of government, and those arms of government should be given their required recognitions and respect as expected by the Constitution. You don't in one breath say, oh, I want to implement all the judgment of Supreme Court, and behind, you're asking people to go to court to stop the orders of Supreme Court. The decisions made in the Supreme Court are not ambiguous. They are written in black and white. Even you media people have copies of it, certified true copy. And now that the governor have done the needful, and I know the assembly, I'm not a member of the assembly, but I know the assembly will respond properly and appropriately. That is what democracy should be. Because I'm even shocked that the media is even silent over the behavior or the characteristics that the governor is displaying over his relationship with the House of Assembly. When a man woke up and say, it is me that decided to accept the assembly to stay, that they're just floating, it shows clearly that he never understood the tenets of democracy. So we're happy, and I know by this news that the Assembly will go ahead and consult themselves. That letter has to be read at the plenary. They have to make arrangements when it's be okay for them to receive the governor. Because remember, they are no more at their complex, which was destroyed by the governor himself because of the fear that he had that he wants to be impeached. And you can see what the Supreme Court said. Why would it, because of the fear of impeachment?
Okay.
Mr. Wanosike, I would like to correct that notion. I don't know which set of journalists you may be referring to, but here at TVC News, we try to report from a balanced point of view. And, we report all sides. But if you can hear me, I would like to get your assessment of the House of Assembly's decision to shut the gates on the governor when attempting. You referred to the governor as a skit maker. But don't you think that the actions of the House of Assembly is an invitation to crisis?
That's Mr. Wanosike. That question is for you.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I didn't hear the question. Please, can you repeat it again?
Yes, I said you just accused the governor of making skits on acting out, to draw the public reaction in his favor. But don't you think that the House of Assembly's reaction to the governor's move is also an invitation to crisis? That is locking him out of the House of Assembly and preventing him from coming to present that budget as directed by the Supreme Court?
How can the governor be locked out of a premises?
Well,
For instance, I'm in my house, my front door is locked, and I didn't know you were coming to my house, and you appear on my gate. I am not aware. I have issues with you, and somebody is calling me on the phone and saying you're in front of my gate with security, and I will not open my gate.
Invitations were sent.
I won't open it.
Several invitations were sent to the House of Assembly, notifying them of his coming.
No, that's not correct.
Are you saying that should be ignored?
No, nothing as such happened. The governor has also affirmed that his aides, who he claimed gave the letter, didn't submit the letter. Even if he submitted the letter, communication is two ways. Communication is two ways. When you write a letter, there should be response to that letter, or there will be receipt of that letter. That's which is a common knowledge that you know. And in all of this, the governor have not shown us that letter was received by anybody, even if it was sent through courier. Like the letter the legislative arm initially sent to the governor, they sent it through a dispatch company, and they had receipts from the dispatch company saying this letter was sent to government house, but the letter was rejected by government house in the orders of the governor. So in the case of the assembly, there was no such letter. One AJ Beredugo say he called the speaker severally, and he sent a WhatsApp letter on the WhatsApp. That is not how to communicate with the legislature. You cannot communicate with the legislature in that form. The letters to the legislature are not being sent via social media. It is a very serious government business, and when one arm is communicating to the next arm, it is very, very important that all processes of communications are adhered to and followed. Now that the governor has done the right thing by communicating properly to the House, you will see the way the House will respond to it. So the initial process the governor was to use was just a decoy, a skip making to whip up public sentiment and paint himself in a white robe when he's inside his heart, he's dark.
Okay, Mr. Wala, this question is for you. Now, with this new development that the governor has written the House of Assembly, and would we say this is a right step in the right direction? So we expect that going forward, we're going to have smooth sail and peace finally coming back to Rivers State. We seem to be having challenge with Mr. Wala's network there. Mr. Wanosike, can you, this question is for you now. Now, with this development now, you've also said that we expect that we're going to be having a smooth sail in the state. But how do you now factor in this other aspect where the House of Assembly want to investigate the chief judge? We're having the House of Assembly having a crisis with the governor. Now, is it that they're having another crisis with the judiciary? How does these things play out for the peace of Rivers State?
The Constitution has given the legislature the authority to investigate, oversight, ask questions where necessary, whether to the executive or to the judiciary. That is what the Constitution has given them power to. They're just merely doing their job. Including you, that's a private citizen or a company doing business in Rivers State. If there is a need for the assembly to invite you, probably the activity is producing toxic waste to the society, or your activity in the state is harmful to the residents or those who live and do business in Rivers State. Of course, the assembly will invite you. So, assembly investigating a petition sent to them about the chief judge is a step in the right direction. And I expect the chief judge to make himself available because that is the laws of Nigeria.
Some persons have also said that the assembly seems to have something they are afraid of. And that is why they want to, at this moment, investigate the chief judge of the state. Do you think the public have a sense correct in that permutation, that probably because of the impeachment notice, the speculation that is dangling around, that probably they want to edge out the chief judge of the state? That is the thought of some persons.
Well, everybody is entitled to their opinion and their thoughts. That is the right given by God Almighty, which me and you cannot deny them. But in facing the truth, is impeachment not in our Constitution? Is it Martin Samewule and the other lawmakers, and they're the one that enshrined impeachment in our Constitution? Impeachment is a democratic tool used to bring in check and balances to the activities of democracy, whether to the executive, whether to even the legislative, whether to the judiciary. Impeachment is written in our Constitution to put a check and balance. So when people say, oh, if there's an impeachment, everyone will fall. No. I remember a statement, Senate President Akwabi, why he joined us in the celebration of Nyesom Wike's birthday last year. He made a statement. He said he cannot imagine him being a governor of a state, and this crisis is going ahead. And since this crisis erupted on October 31st, 2023, that the governor has not been able to put one member, including those from major extractions who are his brothers. Well, for instance, my brother who was speaking the other time made a statement, that Governor Wike is controlling the assembly because he bought. If he claims by his statement that yes, Governor Wike bought funds for everybody, including the governor, that means the other 4 assembly members who are working with the governor were also bought from by Governor Nyesom Wike. So why didn't they do the bidding of Nyesom Wike? That's a 1 million question that needs to be answered. You know, the truth of the matter is that Nyesom Wike is the political leader of a political family.
Mr.
When there is a political interest, every political leader will stand their ground to make sure their political family.
We have live with us in the studio now Chetan Thierry Mwala. Thank you for joining us. Well, quickly, I would like to thank Mr. Wanosike for your thoughts with us on the program. That's where we have to leave it here on your part. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah. Well, back to you, Mr. Mwala. Talk to us about the dangers of the inflammatory rhetorics and threats of violence that seem to be the new order in Rivers State. How should security agencies intervene without taking sides for the sake of peace?
If you would permit me to speak bluntly, there are a few things I would want to also clear before I even dive into that, because if we talk about security agencies as it is today in Rivers State, like I said the last time I joined you, that everybody in Rivers State is compromised, including the security. Everybody in Rivers State is compromised. You can hardly find anybody who have not taken sides. Let me go, not necessarily compromised now, who have not taken sides in this particular crisis. And everybody is loyal to a particular section. You know, that's why you find yourself in situations, and that's why I was actually weary about what Dr. Wansiri was saying when he said the minister is not involved in the entire crisis. If the minister is not involved in the entire crisis, why would the minister every day, he will put up ring lights and invite journalists and call them to come and make statements, and he makes all founded allegations and all that, just like I was saying earlier on about imagine what the statement he made about someone like the research chairman. Now the research chairman served the Rivers State for 31 good years on the bench, from being a magistrate down to being a judge of the High Court for 31 years on the bench. It didn't end at that. The research chairman, as to speak, During his retirement validatory session, this same Minister of the FCT went down there, eulogized him, said all sorts of lovely things about the man, said how good the man was and how other judges should emulate him. But today, you come, say the man is the most corrupt man you know. It was actually because of his impact at the Rivers State Judiciary. That was why he was appointed as research chairman, because someone to be trusted was needed in that particular office. And who was found worthy? The current research chairman, by not Justice Adolphus Enebeli, was found worthy to actually take over that particular office. Now the same person, you have come out to say he is this, he is that, and called all sorts of names. Let me tell you this. The truth of the matter is that the crisis in Rivers State is not perfect. Chief Nyesom Wike is at the center of it all. Even if the governor meets with the assembly today, and have a conversation with them, they will still go back to the Minister of the FCT to get clearance before they take any action. There is nothing they can do without him. He controls them. He determines everything they do. So we cannot remove him from the crisis in Rivers State. Unless we are just trying to play to the gallery. Let me say this. One of the reasons I'm not too sympathetic with the governor over what is happening in Rivers State is because everything the Minister of the FCT did as governor, they were in support of everything he was doing at the time.
You mean the president?
Yes, now, but no, this is in the public glare now.
When
They're in the public glare. Because, of course, when the governor was of course playing with the minister, he was one of the last persons who saw the minister before the minister goes to bed every day. So every decision the man took at the time, he is also aware of it. So we cannot completely exonerate him from the actions of the minister. That is why today, when they are fighting themselves, and they stop fighting Rivers people, because now they are fighting themselves, because before now they were fighting Rivers people. Now today they are fighting themselves. And when we look at it, we just need to speak the truth as it is. And let us say this. Even I wish he was still here. I would have said it. Dr. Wonosike is also a part of the crisis too. You know, when they came up and said, local government chairman whose tenure has elapsed should still continue as chairman in Rivers State, when obviously your tenure has elapsed. And obviously the court has said you cannot elongate the tenure, that the elongation done by the House of Assembly was wrongly done. And what exactly are we then saying? So my dissatisfaction and worry is that anybody who is not in line with the Minister of the FCT, anybody who disagrees with the Minister of the FCT calls him corrupt, calls him names, just like we have seen him do with Justice Enebeli. Of course, today they're after the Chief Judge, because the Chief Judge is not willing to play ball. The Chief Judge is not willing to play ball. You know, the whole thing is, we want to impeach the governor, we want to impeach the governor. You want to impeach the governor. And the governor has asked you, what have I done? Now, because the Chief Judge is not willing to play ball with you, they are now going about to say he falsified his age. But this same assembly screened the Chief Judge. The same people screened the Chief Judge. And we're asking us, the current speaker was leader of the assembly when the Chief Judge was screened. And we asked ourselves this question, didn't you do your due diligence? And do not forget, when this Chief Judge was appointed, some of us raised issues and said, you cannot jump the senior in line to appoint him as Chief Judge, even if it's your prerogative to so do. But the governor went ahead because Justice Ogono, was perceived to be an enemy of the governor, the former governor now. Okay. And that was why she was not appointed in the circumstance, and this Chief Judge was appointed. Today now the Chief Judge is not a bad person, just the same way Adolphus Enebeli is not a bad person before the minister. And see, for me, I don't take the minister's word seriously, because today he says a thing, tomorrow he says a different thing. So how can we take such a person serious?
No, please, let's just place this in proper perspective. When you say who appointed this present Chief Judge, you said the former governor. There are many former governors.
Yes.
There are many former governors.
No, Nyesom Wike appointed this Chief Judge. He appointed the Chief Judge on the recommendation of the NJC.
Okay, then the second thing I want you to clarify, you said this House of Assembly screened him.
No, not this House of Assembly. This current speaker was leader of the House of Assembly
when they screened
the Chief Judge.
How about if there are emerging facts for them to investigate him? Is it wrong in legal matters?
No, there is nothing wrong with investigating him. I don't have an issue with that, because we have always advocated that rule of law should take place. Justice should be seen to be done. But justice should not be done in the circumstance that we are now having political differences. So you now remember that, oh, I falsified my age. That's exactly what's happening in Rivers State. Forget about the rhetorics. Forget about how they want to coin it and make it look like there are other issues. There is no issue other than this particular one. That the Chief Judge of Rivers State is not playing ball with His Excellency, the former governor of Rivers State. And that is why you are having these issues. And this is the problem.
Well,
and let me say this, do not forget, he fell out of love with Justice Adolphus Enebeli. And today, he is everywhere, saying all sorts of things. Oh, he's the most corrupt person he knows. Meanwhile, you went to his book launch during his retirement and even launched his book, I think about 200 million or thereabouts. At the time, this same corrupt person. Today, the man is corrupt. No, see, let's never say the truth. See, the truth of the matter is that no matter how highly placed a man is, like I keep saying this, that people should let us speak truth to power. Because we have had people come on air and they say things for the rhetorics of it. Nobody comes to speak the truth as it were. What is the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is that they will kill me. And they know they cannot.
I'd like you to control your comments. You're
it's as clear as it is.
Yes, I would like you to control your comments. Well, some people have also raised concerns about a certain lawmaker from Imo State, Ikenga Ugochinyere, investing a significant amount of time in discussing Rivers State crisis. Sometimes he gives the impression that he speaks for the people of Rivers State. Do you see this as an attempt to further fuel the political crisis?
The truth is this. I have said it on several fora. Ugochinyere has no business speaking for the people of Rivers State. He was elected by Imo State people from his constituency to speak on their behalf. He should be speaking on their behalf. Let me tell you this. The challenge is that this crisis has made a lot of millionaires and billionaires. It has placed so much money in the hands of people. So, Rivers State is now an oil well. There's no day you told on your TV that Rivers State is not being discussed. And every day you see Rivers State being discussed, it is money being thrown about. And that is what you find. So everybody is looking for ways, both those on the side of the governor and those on the side of the minister. You see, everybody is looking for ways to grab what they can grab from the crisis. That is why, as I tell you, there are people who are doing everything possible to make sure that this crisis does not end. Everything possible, because the moment the crisis ends, no money again for them.
The meal ticket.
Exactly. So they are milking both the minister of the FCT. They are also milking the governor. So these men are spending so much in the hundreds of millions, as we're talking about it, in the hundreds of millions. So the crisis cannot end. And that's why you see that every day they look for one thing or the other to fuel the crisis. They come up with one issue or the other. You know, when the Supreme Court judge, the governor has said he's going to obey the Supreme Court judgment. And in furtherance to the obedience of the Supreme Court judgment, of course, the first thing he did, local government chairman, all of you step aside. The research chairman decided and said, okay, let us continue. Since they said we did not comply with the necessary rules of the Electoral Act, let us now do the right thing and comply with it. That was why I believe that stakeholders meeting was called and actions were taken to correct the anomalies that was done in the circumstance. And because the research chairman, being appointed by the former governor, is now deciding to do what the former governor feels will affect his own political interest, he is now a bad person. All over everywhere, he's a bad person. He's corrupt. He's this. He's that. He lacks character. He lacks integrity.
But let's face it this way: the research chairman was invited by the House. Why would he not honor the invitation of the House?
Now, the House has powers to carry out oversight function on everybody appointed within the government of Rivers State. Everybody appointed. Even some citizens, some actions of citizens that affect the state, the interest of the state. The invitation, there's nothing wrong with inviting the research chairman to appear before the House of Assembly. But you know, there are rules to this particular thing. There are ways to go about this thing. Now, you gave him 48 hours ultimatum to appear before the Rivers State House of Assembly. Meanwhile, the law is saying that you have to give the person at least 7 days notice to prepare himself to appear before you. 48 hours. And that's where we faulted. For me, I faulted the House of Assembly. They didn't do anything wrong inviting him. And I say that he has no business but to attend to the House of Assembly. He has no option, but to attend to the House of Assembly. But the issue is the time frame. The time frame is the issue. Within 48 hours, what if there are documents that were required that he should come with? You know, these things, whether you like it or not, let's look at ourselves. And that was why from the beginning, some of us, we faulted the action of the governor by writing a letter less than 24 hours, you're now going to the House of Assembly. We faulted that particular action because there are procedures to getting these things done. In this circumstance, the House of Assembly did not act right. And that's why when the chairman of RISEC refused to attend or did not go to the House of Assembly, some of us, okay, yes, it's correct because the law has stipulated that at least 7 days, 7 days notice to be given. Even if the National Assembly invites you, they cannot give you 48 hours ultimatum. It is unless they've invited you before, you have flooded that invitation, they've invited you the second time, you flooded again, before they cannot give that ultimatum and also issue an arrest warrant in the circumstance we have seen it. So, but these things were not done. So do you blame the man? And when you issue an arrest warrant, the man ran to court to protect himself. And you say, oh, why did he go to court? Why will he not go to court? But you are also making use of the court. He understands the role of the court. This is the former jurist in question.
Well, clearly there is need for dialogue and compromise that encourages open communication and negotiation between rival groups. But could this option also be the potential to resolve a crisis that has defied all solutions? Just round up in
Dialogue.
1 minute. Yes.
Truth is that dialogue is almost impossible in River State today. Like I have said, the challenge we have is that everybody has taken sides. Remember I said the last time that even religious leaders, is that bad in River State? Even religious leaders who naturally should pull themselves together, come and say, okay, this is our position, both parties come, let us resolve. But as I speak to you, the president's intervention has failed. Elders, of course, we do not have elders again. They are all one-sided elders. You come to the youth, of course, those ones are even fueling the crisis on social media. So who do you rely on? Market women, oh, they are all involved in it. Well, so dialogue as at today, it's almost impossible. Forget about everything they are coming to say here. Everybody is just going on TV to lie. Dialogue is almost impossible.
There's nothing that's impossible.
The only thing the governor has to do is to follow the rule of law, write properly to the assembly, give them the necessary days required, go down to the House of Assembly, present the 2025 budget, do what is right in the circumstance. But please, importantly, the Minister of the FCT, with this his media broadcast and media chat, is fueling the crisis. Fueling the crisis and calling people all of names that are unfounded. And I challenge him to bring evidence against people he's calling names. Those he called for, he should bring evidence. He doesn't have evidence, but you just come on TV and you call people names.
It was nice speaking with you this morning. Thank you for your thoughts with us on the program. We definitely hope that, the River State crisis is properly resolved and all parties, come to a logical conclusion. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much once again.
That's our package from here in Abuja. It's back to you in Lagos, Ibrahim and Etoma.
You have to keep calling that name until you internalize it. That was nice.
Over the weekend, she will go over
she should, over the weekend.